So, man, quick recap of what happened last night, man. Man, last night was a crazy night of fights, dude. We had Isaac Dogboe fight, his rematch with Emmanuel Navarrete. Navarrete beat him the first time, and he beat him this time too. I don't know what's next for Dogboe. He ends up getting, I think his corner stopped it in the 12th round. He was just getting beat up, man. I don't know what's next for Dogboe. It might be a wrap, man. Usually, sometimes when a fighter runs into this type of roadblock, it's hard for him to bounce back from that, man. So I don't know what's next for Dogboe, but I know Navarrete, big things is gonna happen for the kid. So we had Miguel Berchelt versus Francisco Vargas. I could have sworn these dudes fought like 100 times already. Every time I see Berchelt, it looks like he's fighting this type of opponent. This is my first time actually seeing Miguel Berchelt fight. Dude, they were just throwing bombs, man. The whole fight. It's one of those fights where, you know how people be wanting action for fights, and because the fighter's not really throwing a lot of punches. But this was one of those fights where the fighter was throwing punches, and it was still kind of boring. Like, I don't know. It's one of those things where no defense was applied. But Miguel Berchelt looks like a monster, though. Nonetheless, I think his corner ended up throwing in the towel for that fight, so it was a wrap. Matt Korobov had a little mishap against the virtually unknown Emmanuel Lean. I never heard of him, but he came out there fighting like he was trying to be somebody, boy. That motherfucker was fighting his ass off last night. He fought it was officially ruled a majority decision in favor of Matt Korobov, but then they ruled it a majority draw. So I was kind of glad that happened, because I was really rooting for the guy, the way he was pushing on. He was kind of losing, and he fire just got lit up under his ass. He started pushing it, man. I like to see that type of shit, man. I'm really liking what I'm seeing from some of these boxers that nobody heard of today. Then Michael Venom Page got knocked out. For those who don't know who that is, that's the guy that necked the guy with that flying knee in Bellator. Then he had the Pokemon hat on and shit. He'd be knocking people out with that fancy shit. Well, Michael Venom Page finally got exposed, man. We've been waiting for him to fight somebody for years. I'm more of a casual MMA fan nowadays. So about time I came back to MMA, this dude still ain't fighting people. He's got in this tournament. He barely gets past Paul Daly, Paul Daly, and now he faced against Douglas Lima, who's not a bum at all. Just because they're in Bellator don't mean they bums. Douglas Lima's a stud, and he went out there and knocked him the fuck out. Had him out stiff. It was brutal. And then we had Jose Aldo, the King of Rio, fought last night. I think it's one of his last fights. I think Aldo's about to retire soon. He looked good, actually. He looked sharp. He looked fast. You could tell his boxing training been paying off. But he got out hustled by the younger fighter, man. It's not like he was really getting beat up. He just got kind of out hustled, Aldo was kind of looking for that one big shot, and it just didn't come for him. And he lost at home in Brazil, man. Aldo's one of my favorite fighters ever. He's one of my favorites, alongside Anderson Silva. And that's going to segue into Anderson Silva, man. Anderson Silva lost last night against an American, what was his brother's name? I forgot his fucking name. I never heard of this guy at all. But he was fighting Anderson Silva in Brazil. Anderson actually looked pretty good in the fight. He looked good. He looked fast. He looked pretty good. Anderson looked good for a 44-year-old man, but the dude was hitting him with leg kicks in the fight, trying to slow him down, hitting him with inside leg kicks. He was hitting the inner knee, and then like about the 6th or 7th kick, Anderson hits the ground and just like holding his knee, like he pretty much lost TKO via injury, man. It was kind of anticlimactic ending to the fight, but I think it's over for the Spider, y'all. Anderson Silva is one of my all-time favorite fighters. Always been a huge fan of Anderson Silva over the years, and it's been an honor watching the man perform in the cage. Honestly, it's been an honor. But I think his time is up, man. I think his time is definitely up. Thug Rose fought last night. Rose Namajunas. I watched her come a long way. I remember she used to be getting beat up and shit. She couldn't fight, really. Man, that girl turned to a monster. She looked phenomenal last night. Her boxing was on point. Her footwork looked A1. Everything was just ridiculously crazy. Like, how did she get so good? But the girl she was fighting, Jessica Andrade, persevered, weathered the storm. And by the time she had her in the third slam rose on her head and knocked her out, man. It was fucking brutal. I was kind of stuck, like, damn. She was losing the whole fight, and then she just picked her up by Rose had her in the Kimura, slammed her on her fucking head. It was a wrap, man. Damn. Then we're gonna talk about this boxing shit, man. Julian J-Rock Williams versus Jarrett Swift Hurd, man. I mean, that was an upset. That was a major upset. Nobody had J-Rock winning this fight. He came out there looking good. He was he kept it a close. It was a close quarter battle. He dropped Jarrett Hurd in the second round. He was just working him in the inside, slipping punches. I mean, it was a throwback fight. That was a throwback fucking fight, dude. That was a throwback type of fight, man. Them dudes was fighting hard, man. That's what I'm telling people. 154 is the best division, man. These guys are fighting each other. I call that the throwback division. You know what I'm saying? Where upsets happen. You know? See? And that's what happens when these guys be milking these fights and, you know, posturing and maneuvering and trying to marinate. And that's what happens. Upsets. You know what I'm saying? Upsets. Nobody expected Tony Harrison to beat Jamel. Nobody expected J-Rock to beat Jarrett Hurd. Everybody wanted to see Hurd versus Charlo. Now, now what? Every top fighter in that division got a loss. That is the best division right now in boxing, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. I love that 154 division. I mean, everybody got a loss. That means something. You know, that sounds bad, but that means something. These guys are fighting each other here. I think more attention needs to be focused on that, on the 154 division, not all these other diva divisions. And let this be a lesson to all these fans. And, you know, I guess you can never just write a guy off. And me, I always love an upset. People that know me know I love an upset. And I was ecstatic when J-Rock pulled off that victory last night. Man, that shit was crazy. He fought his ass off. He really fought to win. He took it to the champion. Jarrett Hurd looked sluggish. He looked lethargic. He looked slow. I think maybe the weight cut is catching up to him, or he likely was in there with just a better fighter, man. I mean, J-Rock really showed up. You had a lot of people saying that he looked nervous at the weigh-ins, and, you know, leading up to the fight, he looked nervous, but, man, he didn't fight like it. He pretty much outclassed Jarrett Hurd, man. I'd probably give Jarrett Hurd maybe 2 rounds at the most, honestly. You know, I was hoping, man. I be chatting with my boxing brothers on Facebook. We got like a little chat. We be talking and shit while the fight is on. And, man, we was hoping that they wasn't going to rob J-Rock, man, because that was likely to happen. They couldn't get away with that. You know, he came to this man's hometown and took his belts, y'all. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy, and that's big. And shout out to J-Rock Williams. He deserves all the credit in the world. He deserves all the respect in the world. This is what boxing fans want to see, man. And shout out to Jarrett Hurd too, man. You know what I'm saying? He didn't waver. He fought his ass off. He tried to win. He tried to fight, but he was just outskilled, basically, man. He was outskilled. J-Rock wasn't a pushover. He wasn't bullying him. He was actually bullying Hurd, pushing him back, and he was fighting on the inside. It was a good fight, man. I'm gonna watch it again too. That was a great fight, man. Man, the fight was good, man. But it just goes to show y'all, man, you can't. These fighters, Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. need to fucking fight now. Why they both young? You know what I'm saying? So we could potentially get a rematch or something. Not when one guy's too old or one guy lost already. You know what I'm saying? Wilder, Joshua, same thing, man. We can't be milking these fucking fights. This is what happens. Upsets. Now who cares about Jermell and Hurd? Now who really cares now? You know? Jermell still got to face Tony Harrison again. But what if Harrison beats him again? And now that is it. That is it. Telling y'all, man, we gotta us fans, dude. We gotta really push for these guys to fight. There's no reason why Errol Spence should be fighting Sean Paul. He should be fighting Terrence Crawford in September, man, or August or whenever it is. He should be fighting Bud, man. What if Sean Porter beats Errol Spence, y'all? You know what I'm saying? What if he beats him? Then what? Like, subscribe, holla at your boy. Peace out.